The military decision-making process that we learn in the military is what we use for our planning purposes and for our company. I was like, hey, let's keep it simple. Like, we're doing a security company. Let's do the same thing we did in the Army, exactly the same way. And we were successful in the Army, so let's do it here. But then I realized that I was using that same process to build a factory for modular homes, to build the Tiny Home Foundation business, which is a nonprofit that helps homeless get into tiny homes, to build my other companies. In all of them, I use the same military decision making process, and I follow the 12 steps and 12 principles of Napoleon Hill for success. So one of the principles in Napoleon Hill is the mastermind. Mastermind is nothing but planning. It's a group of guys coming together to do the mission.
Hey, let's welcome Bobby Robles, U.S. Army Special Forces and Rangers Regiment veteran and President and CEO of SOM. Good to see you, sir, and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Danny. Thank you for your time today.
Of course. Let's start with your story, if you want to share your background so that people can understand where you come from and how you became the founder and the CEO of SOM.
Oh, it's a funny story. A lot of synchronicities and coincidence that happened on this. So after I retired from the Army, I did 22 years Special Forces Green Beret. And after that, I became a developer here in Oklahoma City. I built for the biggest developer in Oklahoma. I built a modular home factory for him. And while I was building the factory, I got this idea in my head to build a private security company. But the private security company will help the poor and the homeless with some of the portion of our money to buy tiny homes for these homeless. And I was like, I'm not going to quit my $100,000 job, 6-figure job for doing this. And I keep getting this idea in my head. And just like every special forces, that's their dream, to have a company like Blackwater or something like that. So as I was thinking of this, I remember saying out loud, like, if you really want me to do this company, I need a sign. And immediately as I said that, I looked to my right and there was a sign, and the sign says sign on it. And right under that sign, there was a nun. Her name is Sister Vijay, and she has a pantry here that helps the homeless. And I stop in the sign, I get out of my Tesla, I go talk to the nun. I'm like, lady, this is going to sound crazy, but I was just in that corner over there praying about quitting my job to go do this private security company to help the homeless and do tiny homes. And I asked for a sign, and here you are. I walked to her, and she says, like, that's funny, because I was just talking to this homeless individual that I just purchased this land and I need 12 tiny homes. And right there, that was like, yeah, this is my sign. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I quit my job that week, and I gave 100% to SOM on my energy. About a year later of that meeting, I go on the weekends, Saturdays and Sundays, and I help the nuns feed the poor in the mornings. But I'm supposed to be there every morning on Saturdays and Sundays at 6 in the morning. That day I was playing PlayStation. It was like 8:30 or 9. When I hear, hey, you got to go see the nun, I get this anxiety that I got to go see this nun. I'm like, I'm not going over there. I'm already late. So I take off to see the nun, and she's like, what a coincidence. We were just talking about you. Can you be here Monday and meet me to take you to meet some monks in Shawnee, Oklahoma? I'm like, okay. So I thought I was selling more tiny homes to them. But when we got there, the monks expressed that they had this university there, and they have heard of a project that I was working to help the homeless, and they wanted me to build that private security company to help the homeless in their university. So we now have this beautiful campus called St. Gregory's campus here in Shawnee, Oklahoma, and we're building the most beautiful private security company in the world right now, SOM.
Yeah, and it's funny because my interactions with God and whenever I ask for signs, they're very similar to what you told me. And I can totally understand. It seems to be just working that way. When you ask God for some kind of direction or clarity, you get it in these kinds of ways. So it's a pretty good sign that you're on the right path. So tell me more about SOM, where you are now with the company, what's the vision for the future, and maybe from the business standpoint as a founder of this company, anything that you want to share about it.
Thank you for the question. SOM is a private security company, as we discussed, but we are mainly focus on critical minerals security, like the mines or anything that has to do with transportation of critical minerals. That's what SOM's main focus is. What we do also while we're in those mines, we pick a school or a clinic and we do civil affairs in those clinics and we help the town that we are securing, not only with the stability from those projects, but with security. And we help a lot on that part. Another thing that we've been working on and what we are trying to do is use this university that we have and start teaching some of these security classes and cybersecurity certifications that are required for a lot of people. As soldiers get out of the army, they don't know what they're gonna do, what is their purpose after, which it happened to me. It's all about purpose. Has to do nothing with money. Doesn't have to do with rank. It has to do what your purpose in life is. So we're trying to also build an academy for security academy at that university to help these soldiers as they come out or their spouses. So we SOM is not only a security company, but we want to pass what we know and help a lot of people with the money that we bring to the company.
And how many people do you have in your company, in your team right now?
Our team right now, we have admin, we have about 12 people. Our deployed teams right now, we have 17 on the deploying team. We are hoping to get 3 contracts here in November to get 3 mines in Africa. We have people on standby for those contracts, just like any other security company. What is different from SOM is that all our guys in our teams are Green Berets. So they have come with the discipline and the professionalism to do these missions the right way.
And in this journey of starting your own private security company, but more like as a business owner, what challenges you've faced, as a business owner where you don't have guidance, you have total freedom, but also a lot of responsibility as a president and the CEO of the company. Maybe you can share some of the roadblocks or anything like that that happened on your journey and how you overcame them.
Great question. So roadblocks, something that I see on every roadblocks is that there is something to learn from it. Every time that you get to a roadblock, it's because you do not have the information or the idea on how to overcome it. So we always approach roadblocks with passion, and we know that it's something we need to accomplish. For example, roadblocks that we've been working on is for example, my last one, the licensing for the FFLs, the firearm licenses for the company. I didn't know where I was going to put an arms room. I didn't, like, I couldn't use my house for that. Like the company has to be very specific. And I called the monks that gave us the university. I'm like, hey, Father, I actually need an arms room to be able to submit this application. Right there, he's like, I got you. Too easy, man. Submit the application, put our address, put our phone number, and like right there, show me that it doesn't matter in your head how hard the roadblock says. There's always a way to get out of out of that situation. It's just you got to think, and you have to trust that the decisions that you're making are the right ones. I am a big student of Napoleon Hill, and in it, it shows that persistent is another thing that you need as a CEO. Is don't don't quit. And if you make a decision, don't change it too quickly. Make the decisions quick, but the changes on that decision do them gradually. Because there is a reason why you have that idea and you made that decision. Just stick to it and don't change too much. Because what will happen is instead of just moving towards that goal, you can start going left and right and not accomplish your goal as fast as you could.
And as a veteran from Special Forces, you've got a lot of practical experience in the army. But how does that translate into your new role as a founder of this company? What skills you took from there and apply here, or maybe something that is different and you had to relearn because of this new environment?
Well, luckily for us, the military decision making process that we learn in the military is what we use for our planning purposes and for our companies. And I did it just like, I was like, hey, let's keep it simple. That we're doing a security company. Let's do the same thing we did in the army, exactly the same way. And we were successful in the army, so let's do it here. But then I realized that I was using that same process to build a factory for modular homes, to build the Tiny Home Foundation business, which is a nonprofit that helps homeless get into tiny homes, to build my other companies. In all of them, I use the same military decision making process. And I follow the 12 steps and 12 principles of Napoleon Hill for success. But I didn't know I was doing it. It wasn't until I started paying attention and reading other success books that I learned that in those success books, all they did was copy what we learned in the military, put it on civilian worlds, and passed it out there to everybody and sell books. But luckily for us, we've been trained on it for 22 years in the same processes.
Yeah. So, what are some of those principles? Because let's say some of the listeners, they are not military veterans, but they are passionate about business and they realize, okay, I need to learn these skills and how to apply that to their business. What are some of those skills or maybe advice that you want to share from the military to the regular business?
So one of the principles in Napoleon Hill is the mastermind. Mastermind is nothing but planning. It's a group of guys coming together to do the mission. Another one in it is teamwork. Like what else we can say about teamwork and military units? How your applied faith is. You don't need to have faith on a higher power. You don't need to think it's only in God. You need to have faith in yourself. You need to have faith in your plan, and you need to continue moving forward with that accurate thinking that you had during that plan. The best plan doesn't survive the first contact or the first bullet downrange, but you need to have the control, attention, and accurate thinking to continue moving towards your goal.
And also, I realized something. I've spoken to many different veterans from special forces and regular army, and I've noticed quite significant differences in the way how these teams operate. In special forces, it seems like it's more of a like a collaborative environment with less structure, and the conventional army is much more. It has much many hierarchies. So do you apply these like special forces principles when it comes to teamwork into your business as well?
We do. Actually, we have to. Everybody's a Green Beret in my company, but that is our strength. Those principles as being special forces is like we have. I give everybody the latitude and the ability to make their plan, and I have faith that I selected them for that position for that. Many leaders and many units in the army, it's like, hey, what the boss said, what the boss says, and they continue moving to knowing that there's not the right move or the right call for the strategy, but it's what the boss says. And in our company, it's different. We all come together, like we were talking on the mastermind. We do our missions just like Green Berets operations. We get our 5 W's or what is it, who, what, when, where, and why. We get those intents and we lock ourselves on a 72 hours isolation to do this planning the same way. And everybody, no matter what rank they are, as Green Berets, we're a team. Everybody's idea is considered and it goes through scrutiny. Doesn't matter if you're the lowest rank in the team or if you're the team leader, your idea will go through scrutiny and say, like, that's a good idea or not. What are the assumptions that we're following and continue movement? But information and good ideas come from everybody, not just because you're higher rank. Anybody can have a good idea. And that's what I think I love more about how we do our missions. Because when we go out and do our missions, everybody feels that the plan that we are executing, there is a part of it that they thought of and they are planning. So it gives them some type of ownership of what they're doing, not just an order given by me.
And a big part of serving in the military and your career progression is having great mentors and people who guide you through this process. And I'm wondering if you had mentors once you retired from the military and then you went through to this civilian and business worlds. Do you have mentors who help you now with things that you do with the um, SOM or generally in your civilian life now?
Yeah, nobody can get nowhere without a mentor or without proper instructions. Everybody think ego sometimes gets in your way, and you get a good idea, and you think I know how to do it, and the only way to do it is the way that I thought of, and then you realize that somebody else already been there before, and they have all the answers that you need on how to get there. But again, ego and like, no, I'm gonna do it my way. But luckily for us, like I told you, as Green Berets, we always think that we can learn from each other. And I want to give a shout out to not only my mentor, but our business developer, which is Guillaume Kloof. That man has been so instrumental to helping SOM get to where they are. And I tell you, is I cannot say so many thanks to that man and to everybody that has been working at SOM on my team, our COO. Funny story, for SOM, this is how much faith we have in the company. Like I told you about my story, how I'm like, nope, I'm gonna do this, and everybody else put on the back burner and let's go. Well, my COO did the same thing. He was the chief cybersecurity guy for Blue Cross Blue Shield. His name is Rob McCaslin. Me and Rob met in basic training, and since basic training, we've been every training together. We went through Rangers, we went through Airborne School, Scuba School, Green Beret training, everything together. Every time I looked to my left, he was right there. And I am so grateful for him quitting his job and coming over, have faith in us. And thank you to Elon for always pushing forward and telling us, hey, you're okay, but you need to fix this. And that's what we need. It's not telling us that we're okay. We are not okay. If not, we will not need mentors and people to help us. Everybody needs mentors. Another mentor of mine is Colonel Lance Wendell. He's here in Oklahoma. He's the one that taught me how to become a developer and how to meet all these banks. I never put a nail on my. I know how to pull triggers, but not with the hammer. So he did help me with all that. Like you always need a mentor. Like if you don't have a mentor, and don't think that if your pain is doing it for their interest, they always have your interest at heart because these people are very busy and very important people. And if they're taking out of their time to come tell you, hey, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this right, do it because they've been there, done that. So that's what I believe about mentors. Everybody needs one.
Yeah, great advice. And as we are getting closer to the end of the show, do you have some advice for young people who are listening to this episode? Maybe something on your mind that you want to share with them?
Yes, be persistent and don't quit. Everything that you need, you have. And it's inside your brain, inside your heart. Go for your goal. Don't quit. And the people that you need to accomplish your goal will show up.
Awesome. Well, and before we wrap up the show, I'll let you use these couple of minutes to give some kind of a final word, whether it's, you want to emphasize something that you already talked about, or maybe something that you haven't had a chance to discuss on the show today. Please use this time to do that.
Yeah, no, to your viewers, think of us as your possible security detail security company for your business. Because we don't only bring the best in security to your organization, but we also help a lot with what we win from our company's revenues. And every project does have a civil affair component to it. So for those minds out there that need those ESG credits and they need to do stuff for the community, we already bring those packages for you. All you need to show us where your mine is, and we'll take care of everything else. So yes, anybody out there that needs security, let us know. Danny will post our LinkedIn on the chat. And thank you so much for your time, Dan.
Thank you, Bobby. Great conversation and great story. And thank you for joining the show today.
Thank you, Danny. Appreciate everything.
All right.